Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Today I'm with a familiar guest to the platform. He is the slippery one. He is Mr. Pete Barrett, getting ready, making his BKFC debut, taking on Nate Diederichs, June 14th, Mohegun Sun, Connecticut. Slippery Pete, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just, trying to wind down at the end of the night and get ready for bed so I can get up early and train all day tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. I got pretty
Yeah.
excited a few weeks ago. I was scrolling through the whole Instagram and I came across something that said you're fighting, making your BKFC debut. Last time out, you did a little game bred MMA action. You got a taste of the bare knuckle environment. Why do you think taking the gloves off in the boxing format? Why does this suit your game?
I think it's right up my alley. I think it suits my style really well. I'm a fierce striker in every MMA cage that I walk into, and you know, minus the kicks, knees, and elbows, I think I'm pretty handy with my hands. So I'm looking to get out there and impress the crowds and have a lot of fun and just let my hands go and use my fight IQ, move around, try to get hit as little as possible, and put a beating on this kid.
Your last time out, obviously, Game Bred MMA took on Charles Rosa. It didn't go your way, but what a fight, man. I mean, that was one of my
Mhm.
favorite fights of the night. Both of you guys showed how big of warriors you are. Overall, what was the first experience like fighting in a sanctioned environment without gloves?
It was absolutely insane. And like to this day, I tell people, they're like, oh, I'm like selling tickets to the fight. I go, oh, who you fighting where? I'm like, oh, fighting this Canadian down in Mohegan Sun. And they're like, oh, MMA. And I'm like, no, it's bare knuckle boxing. And they look at me and I'm like, yeah, everything that just went through your 2 ears has already gone through mine a million times. It's as insane as it sounds. Uh, but you realize how efficient you are with less. Your jab is a killer, your cross is a killer. You don't need to load up on punches. Like, there's no glove, there's nothing stopping that power from going right through your soul. I mean, when I fought Rosa, I think he broke my jaw in the second round. I had no idea at the time, but in hindsight, after watching the fight, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely the hook, where I was like, holy shit, I can feel this in my bones. And yeah, you know but that fight being such a close fight and a fight that I could have won in the second round, it just, the whole experience, that didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth, but it really left me wanting more. So when I got this opportunity to make the switch up to BKFC, I thought this is a great way to get that loss back and get my hand raised in a bare knuckle environment.
When you're getting ready for a bare knuckle contest, is a lot of the training camp, is it a lot learning, understanding how to throw the shots in that type of environment? Is it practicing the twos, practicing the threes, different setups? Is it more footwork based? Is there any big differences?
I mean, the principles are the same, but the application is very different. The ranges are different, your reads are different. Um, you're safe in different places than you are when you're throwing kicks. So, I started training in boxing with Marky DeLuca, who's a big name up here, when he was training under Hector Bermudez, who's another big name coach. So I spent a couple of years training with those guys back, I want to say like 2016, 2017, like before the pandemic. And as I made my transition to Lozons, I was boxing with those guys a couple days a week. And that's kind of where I started to really develop that boxing ability. And when it came time to do this, I just called up one of my buddies that I met when I trained with them, and I was like, "Hey, Eric Goff, he's like an 8-0 pro. He's actually fighting the week after me." I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna need you to corner me. I'm gonna need you to come down and train with me and help polish these things up and really be critical and let me know where I'm fucking slacking, because I need to close this loop as quick as possible so I can get out there and perform the way I want to."
Absolutely. If anyone watches your fight, there's no such thing as a boring slippery Pete fight. I mean, you're seriously
Never.
one of the most entertaining, fun, and exciting fighters that I've
Yeah.
ever seen. That striking is so amazing. I mean, you can throw kicks, punches, everything, all these different angles, all these different ranges, these different type of movements. How much pride do you take in your style?
Oh, I love it. It's a big piece of who I am. I'm not afraid to fight. I'm not afraid to throw down. I'm not afraid to bite down on my mouth guard if I need to. But as I get a little bit older, I'm getting better. I'm getting a little more crafty. I'm harder to hit. I'm not taking as many strikes. So I'm really looking to get in there, utilize my footwork, utilize my drills, that I've been working on all this whole fight camp, to really just get around this kid and pick him apart. And then if I need to get inside, utilize my Muay Thai clinch and just fucking get heavy on him and make him wish he was not in there.
I feel like there's a lot of fighters out there who don't like firefights, or maybe it's not their main thing. They don't want to get into them. For you, I feel like you thrive on that. I feel like, do you find comfort? I mean, are you at peace when you're in that type of fight?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. It's settling, I suppose. And when I'm in there, you can tell I'm having a blast. Like I'm incredibly present. I know exactly what's going on. Um, I'm usually talking shit to my opponents, talking shit to their corners, like just having a grand old time. Like when I fought Charles, I was talking to him the whole time when he was on top of me in the second round before he ended up with the head and arm. You know, we were just stuck there for a second. I'm like, Charles, hey, buddy, just let me up. The fans want to see us fight. Let me up. He goes, like, what do you think? I'm fucking crazy. I'm not letting you up. And I'm like, come on, let me up, dude. Just let me up. Let's do this right now. We'll go to the middle. Let me up. And we laughed at that time, and he was like, fuck out of here, dude. I'm not letting you up. Get out of here. And then after the fight, we were laughing still. He's like, dude, I barely remember submitting you. I was still out from when you hit me in the second round. And I was like, don't tell me that, bro. Don't tell me that. You know, but it was like that's just the way I fight, man. We go in there hard, we go in there fast. I try to I preach my highly calculated violence, and as of recently I've been doing pretty well with it, so there's no need to change my styles for a different rule set. What a lot of people don't take advantage of in this fighting style is the clinch. You know, it's not like boxing where they break you right away. Like you can lean on someone, you can hold on someone. I can get pretty stiff head control. I can fold that man over, break his posture, and hit him from everywhere, from anywhere. You know, so I'm really looking forward to flourishing under this new rule set.
You know, you get to fight Mohegun's son. You get to do this with a bunch of New England talent as well. I mean, when you look at it, you have John Doomsday Howard, you have Rico DeShulo, you have your buddy Randy Costa's on there, Rick Hahn's on there, you got Parker Porter's on there. It's like a Boston reunion at this thing.
It's a who's. I mean, honestly, dude, this is like a Sit Yad Tong reunion. All of these guys have trained with us at Sit. I mean, I met Rico 15 years ago when he was an amateur champion, and I was making my amateur debut, and then ended up at Sit Yad Tong, and then we were teammates. You know what I mean? Like, it's really like a who's who of who's been at Sit Yad Tong over the years. It's pretty cool.
So you're getting ready. We talked about him a little earlier, but you're taking on Nate Diederichs. Overall, what do you think of Nash's opponent here?
I think he's dangerous, right? I'm looking at his record. I'm doing my homework. He's 1-1. Neither one of the fights have left the first round, so maybe I've seen clips. I'm not overly impressed with his skill set, but he seems to be someone that the promotion thinks worth investing in. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to get out there and let my skills and my talent shine against a veteran who's fought twice for the company already. Um, I think in his first outing, it was a TKO finish in the first minute or maybe the last minute of the round. I mean, these rounds are only 2 minutes long, so there's not a whole lot of time out there. But I think he got finished in the first round of his first fight, and he finished the second guy in the first round of his second fight. So there's not a ton of tape on him to really see, how he moves, look for patterns, look for repeated behavior, look for I mean, there's always bad habits that we can pick apart, even from such short film. But there's no real testament about what kind of cardio he brings in. He seems to come out hot and heavy, which that's cool if you can do that for the whole fight. But a lot of people come out hot and heavy looking to blow their load and go home early. So if that's his thing, he's in for a rude fucking awakening. So I'm really just looking to showcase these hands, the footwork, the fight IQ that I have, and the veteran nature of the type of pedigree I bring to my fights. So I'm looking to put on a show and get in there and get out of there as quick as possible. So we'll see.
You know, what I've seen from him watching his fights is he comes forward, just like you're mentioning. What I know from you is you come forward. There's no going backwards. Is this the perfect combination for someone getting knocked out?
Yeah, absolutely. When he comes forward, he leans over his guard. I mean, way past his feet. You watch him throw these big sloppy right hands, and his face is coming past his lead knee, and that's just a quick pull slip two right back at him. So I've been working heavily with my Muay Thai long guard, which is similar to the boxing L guard, and matching hands, occupying the negative space, and just picking small shots with no gloves and letting that do the work. And then when the time presents itself and he's looking like he's hurting pretty bad, just take him. Just take it, knock him out, and get my hand raised.
I think there's a very big misconception about bare knuckle combat. And I think it's a lot of people think, if you're this big, bad, mean dude, you're going to go out there. It's maybe some of the best boxers, best UFC fighters. They all expect, oh, take the gloves off. It's going to be amazing. For me, I don't think so. I think a special type of person has to do bare knuckle. And I think the best way to say it, you have to have that dog in you to do anything bare knuckle. For you, how important is the mental part of a bare knuckle contest?
Oh, I mean, you need to believe in yourself to do this on any level. You know what I mean? Amateur, professional, the big leagues, being a local champ. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, that's absurd. You know what I mean? So, like, the mental game to this is huge. The preparation, rehearsing everything, visualizing everything. You know, trying to figure out how you're gonna get those nerves to come down on fight night. Like, it doesn't matter who I fight. I'm gonna get nerves. I'm gonna get butterflies, and hopefully, I can just get those little motherfuckers in row, and we can go to war. You know what I mean? That's always the goal. But there's always nerves every time you fight. Like, so anybody that sits here and tells you that they don't have them, like they're full of shit, or they're just well, they're just full of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, anything can happen. I've seen crazier things happen. Don't get me wrong. So, I got to go out there and fight him like he's a world champion and just improve.
When you first started getting into this, obviously, the sport from then to now, it's crazy. Combat sports is absolutely blown up. I think at a time, people you might say, "Hey, we're gonna have this bare knuckle thing, this organized bare knuckle boxing, organized bare knuckle MMA." I think people kind of look at you like you were crazy because at one time, MMA was considered human cockfighting. It was not legal at every state. People thought people who did it should be in prison and all this crazy stuff. When you first started getting into this, did you ever envision that something like this would be around?
You know, I don't know if I ever thought about it like that. I know, like, way back when I first started fighting, they tried to get a bare knuckle promotion up and running in Massachusetts, and like they still had to wear gloves, but they cut the knuckles off the gloves to make it simulated bare knuckle because the MMA, the combat laws in Massachusetts say a gloved opponent, and they don't want to rewrite the law. So, like, sure, it's been like on like in there, but did I ever think I was going to get to this point? I mean, no. But here we are, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna have a hell of a good time performing out there, So it's just another feather in the hat, another a testament to what kind of pedigree I bring to fighting.
When you first started training, when you first started getting into this, have you seen someone experience, some of these promotions from back in the day, maybe fighting outside bars, barns, sketchy conditions, mystery opponents? Have you ever seen any of that?
I mean, I've seen plenty of bar fights, but not organized like that. I mean, I remember. Let's go back into the vault. So remember Chuck Cold Steel O'Neill? He was on Tough. He was a welterweight. He's a local guy. He trained with Joe way back in the day. But there was one of the guys that was on the show. Like, something happened. Like, maybe he had like something with his eyes or whatnot. And he's like, Chuck, man, I used to fight in parking lots to be the toughest guy in my town. Like, this is your opportunity. Like, that's my only exposure to that shit. But you know, to each their own.
You mentioned Joe Lozon, obviously such a big figure in mixed martial arts. I don't think the guy really gets his grapes. I think he's a legend. I think he's one of the greatest guys to do it, really paved the way for so many guys, and obviously a staple in that Boston area.
Oh yeah.
For you, what's made Joe, why is Joe so special? Like, what was it about him that allowed him to have this success and this impact in martial arts?
Dude, I don't know. He's just a super, super intelligent guy, and like his computer IT brain and jujitsu just melded, and they went hand in hand together. In the same way this dude can break down computers for you with his eyes blindfolded, he could, perform in the math much the same way. Um, but he's a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can't say enough good things about him, and it's just that he's just a high quality human being.
What is it about that Boston area and fighting, man? It feels like, that's one of the big hotbeds of mixed martial arts and, combat sports in general. So many great athletes from that area. They're going to professional boxing, they're going to BKFC, they go into MMA. What is it about that area that just breeds combat?
I mean, it's just a tough city. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's got a tough history. Um, but life's good up here. It's just fun to fight. I mean, maybe we just all happen to be reborn up here this time around. I have no idea. but Boston's always been a tough city. It's always been, a Boston New York rivalry. The red, like, you used to wear a Yankees hat in Boston, you get your ass beat. You wear a Red Sox hat in New York, you get your ass beat. I don't think it's so much that way anymore. Um, but like the tribalism runs deep up here for sure for all the sports teams. So I guess that plays into it too.
Absolutely. You've had so many great fights on the regional scene, especially tons of cage titans. And one that I want to talk about, your win over Joe Giannetti. Joe Giannetti, a guy who's making a lot of noise right now in the LFA, really looking like he should be in the UFC sometime soon. You're able to go out there, very tough guy, get a great win off of him. Is that one you take a lot of pride in?
Yeah, me and him haven't seen eye to eye for a really long time. It was kind of personal. So, um, like, if I didn't win that fight, you'd never see me again, type of deal. So there was a lot going in there. There was a lot of history on that fight. And I just really wanted to make a point that I didn't have to do too much to beat him, and I just beat the bag out of his leg, kept him occupied upstairs, move left, move right, didn't let him get his jujitsu game working. Was talking shit to him when he was trying to choke me. We were like, it was the third round. We're finishing the round with him on my back, and I'm controlling his hands, and I'm going, "Come on, choke daddy, baby, come choke daddy." And he stands up and he's looking at me all bewildered. I'm like, "What the fuck do you think I was gonna say to you, you little bitch? Like, fuck off, like." I'm not giving you anything, dude. Not a chance.
I think
But yeah, it was a fun fight. I, I I don't care for him as a human being. I don't care for him as a fighter. As far as I'm concerned, like, that squash that beef. Then he's chirping because Spectation has me listed at number one and him listed at number two. And like, dude, I beat your ass last time. I don't need to do it again. Everybody saw it. All of New England saw it. Anybody that's your fan, watch me whoop your ass. I don't need to do it again. So it's just, yeah, that was a good one.
at this stage of your career, what's the ultimate goal?
Have fun, make some money, you know, be able to, ideally eventually open a school. Joe just opened a second gym. And I'm teaching the kids program over there, which is cool because now I get to see that aspect of teaching with children and how to build a kids jujitsu program and all that. So it's really like a live case study while getting the experience and hopefully be able to replicate it on my own.
I think so many people are watching this in this day and age. And I think for the most part, the casual viewer, they understand that you guys are training. You're going to get fights. You're going to try to win those fights, get bigger fights, win belts, get more money, yada, yada, yada. But they don't see the fight that happens outside of the fight. It's that fight to not have to clock in at 9 o'clock in the morning, clock out at 5 o'clock at night. It's that night to live a life on your own terms, not fall into societal norms that you have to do this, you have to do this, but build a platform, express your views to your followers, secure financial freedom and really live the American dream. For you, has that been a big part of this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you, it'd probably be easier if I went out and got a job to make it a lot easier on my family right now. But my athletic wits are still about me. I won't have those forever, and we'll always be able to work. So I'm kind of trying to run it out while I still can and have a blast with it. But yeah, living life on my terms has been a big deal, a big part about the fighting lifestyle and quitting my job and training people and teaching and working weekends to stay in the gym as much as possible. It's been a blast. I wouldn't do it differently. Um, but yeah, I love it 100%.
How much pride do you take when now you have people hitting you up on Instagram, social media, and be like, hey, I look up to you. You inspire me. I'm trying to get to where you're at. Maybe at the gym, you have the younger fighters coming up to you asking you for advice. How much pride do you get to take in knowing that you're making a difference and giving what you've learned, what you've done to the sport back to the next generation?
Oh, I love it. It's really just about building the community and trying to help people out and maybe like shorten the learning curve where I know I struggled. Hey, figure this out as soon as possible because you don't want that lingering. Like all the young guys, oh, I want to cut all this weight for my first fight, and I'm like, fuck that. Like, go to your coach, have him go to the promoter, say, hey, I got a guy that walks at 165. He wants to fight at 160. Can you find me a catch weight at 160? Like, that's all that needs to happen. Most pros say, sure, I got a guy in mind right now. Absolutely. We can do that. Everybody wants to like make it harder than it has to be. In reality, like, if you're looking to do this long run, you want to set a foundation. Like my younger brother, he's going to make his amateur Muay Thai debut this summer, and his goal is to fight in the cage. But I said, hey, Ian, I think it's better if you get your feet wet with just Muay Thai first. Worry about one thing, then keep working on your jiu-jitsu, keep coming to team training, keep doing the wall work, but if you want to get used to fighting, let's start with like less tools and then add to it versus like just go run out there and get an MMA fight and have to worry about wrestling, jujitsu, boxing, kickboxing. Like let's quantify this and structure it so we can get you like, a good long-term plan here.
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy to think that, I mean, you're doing this for so long. When you look at your career, I mean, you've accomplished more than probably a lot of people will when they get into this. Obviously, you've done a lot of things on the regional scene. You've got to fight in the UFC, the highest pinnacle of this mixed martial arts, game bred, BKFC. Is it truly amazing when you get to look back at it and see where the journey's taken you?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I have to do it now sometimes just to not to remind myself why, but just like that I've been having so much fun doing it. Like this, it's all been worth it. And you know, amateur champion, went pro, built out like an 8-0, 9-0 record before I lost my first loss. Was able to fix those losses, get back into the point to get on the contender series, get a contract on the contender series, get into the UFC, fight for the UFC during COVID, like during all that crazy shit. I never got a proper training camp for my UFC fights, and the whole world knew it. So it's like you can see what I can do when I get to really dedicate my time and have all my resources at my disposal. And it's been a great journey. Like I said, now at this point, I just want to make sure I'm still having fun. I'm making enough money where it makes sense. And, you know, if I can get some notoriety out of this BKFC shit, like, let's fucking go, dude. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here. Like, this isn't a second win, dude. I'm still going on the first one. Like, let's do this.
That obviously that win on the entire series was such a defining moment in your career. Do you remember where you were when you got the phone call that you were going to be fighting on the contender?
Yeah, nobody asked me if I wanted to do it. My manager, it was my coach, Mark Delagrati, got a call. Mark called Mike Pulver. Mike Pulver said, "Don't even tell Peter, just say yes. Don't even talk to him, say yes, and we'll call him after. Like, this is his one shot to get into the UFC. He's already old. He needs to get on the contender series. He needs to beat this kid." Like, and then I get a phone call. "Hey," I get a text. "Answer your phone when so-and-so calls." "What's up?" "Hey, I've got some good news." And I'm like, no fucking way. I was in my backyard when I was living, me and my brother were still living together in Plymouth. And I'm like walking circles in the backyard. I was like looking out the windows, like, what the hell's going on out there? Did somebody die? Da, da, da. And like, it was just like this crazy perfect storm as to how it happened. I had been out to Vegas to watch two other contender series that year, that summer, maybe just one. Was it one or two? That just one at that point, and then I went back for another one just to get my face in front of Sean Shelby, just to say hi, just to shake his hand, just so my name was fresh on his mind. And they had this kid from South Korea that nobody wanted to fight. Nobody told me he had like 100 fucking kickboxing fights before he went to MMA. I remember walking out to the ring and they like talk about his kickboxing record, and I'm like, nobody told me about this. Nobody told me about this. So like it was like a form of Chinese kickboxing with takedowns. And I forget what the style was, but yeah, it was insane. It was incredible. The kid was huge. Like when I saw him at weigh-ins, he looked like a string bean. When he rehydrated, I was like, who the fuck is this monster? Jesus. It was insane.
Do you feel like if you're about to start doing the BKFC, do you feel like this could be an avenue where you could really break out and become a star for this organization?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I go out there, be a couple people up, get my hand raised in a dominating fashion, and it's just really playing right into my strengths. Like give me PKFC with kick. Maybe I need to get into bare knuckle Muay Thai or something. Like that's really up my alley. But I'll settle for BKFC in the meantime.
Absolutely.
I think we can let these hands fly and do some damage.
Absolutely. All right, Slippery Pete. Last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome on June 14th when you make your debut to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship against Nate Diederichs?
It's a first round finish. I don't think he's gonna like the pressure. I don't think he's gonna like how hard I hit. I'm gonna get my hands on him, and the kid's gonna crumble right away. I'm just gonna out pressure him, walk him down, walk forward, and put my fist down his throat.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Slippery Pete, man, always a pleasure. I love chopping up with you, man, and can't wait to watch you fight again.
Oh, me too, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. I'm Carl Peruzza. He is Mr. Slippery Pete Barrett. Watch him June 14th, making his BKFC debut against Nate Diederichs. Take it easy, fight fans.